Patrick, have you even been to sleep yet, or are you just pushing through here to have this conversation with me?
I pushed through. I pushed through for you, Morgan, and I'm so glad that the Mexico did not go further than the U.S. because I had some bets with some of my Mexican students that I was going to have to wear a mariachi costume to class when the fall semester begins. So thankfully, we went as far as Mexico. So yeah, rough night last night for the USA.
Yeah, although it is very disappointing that all the host countries have been knocked out. That being said, how do you see the actual winners in this World Cup, especially when you think about the impact on economic growth, the impact on the jobs market, which arguably questionable after the results we got with non-farm payrolls last week, and the impact to media companies and prediction markets and everybody else as the world is engaged?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. The topic of economic impact at these major events is a wonderful topic, and it's a controversial topic because, yes, you have visitors coming to the community. They're spending money on hotels, on restaurants. It's great visibility for these host markets. There's great civic pride. But a lot of these host cities, it's a bidding war, and they've got to spend a lot of money to bring these events and to talk FIFA into bringing their event to their host city. So there's money spent on security, infrastructure costs that isn't necessarily reflected in some of these economic impact reports. So at the end of the day, I think that these events, it's great for the host cities in terms of the visibility, the exposure for the community, and there is some economic impact. I would just look at with a little bit of caution at the actual size of those numbers because there's a lot of, again, infrastructural costs, security costs, other costs that are not factored in that have to be netted out.
Yeah. So in light of that, I mean, there's been a lot of attention paid to the fact that, you know, the business model around FIFA coming into this specific World Cup was restructured. And to your point, perhaps, at least on paper, budget shortfalls for some of the cities that are hosting these games as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I will say you asked the question, what did I think of this event? And again, when you have cities bidding on these events against each other, trying to win FIFA's favor, there's a reason Chicago decided not to pursue this, right? Mm-hmm. Part of it was they looked at the economics, didn't make sense for them. But I think it's great that they expanded the tournament. There was a concern that if you expand from 32 to 48, that you'd have a dilution of talent. I think we've seen some amazing soccer. So I don't fault FIFA for expanding the tournament. I don't fault these hydration breaks. People are up in arms about the hydration breaks, the small 3-minute breaks they're having in the middle of halves. The soccer purists hate it. I actually love it because it's great for being able for the networks to generate ad revenue. It has tactical advantages, so teams can kind of huddle briefly to talk things over. And I think it brings the casual fan in. So I think the winners in terms of bringing in more people to the sport of soccer in North America, certainly this World Cup has done it.
Yeah. Prediction markets and the role they've been playing in all of this, how is it feeding back into the broader flywheel?
Oh, absolutely, Morgan. Absolutely. And part of this is just the proliferation of sports gambling. And I know prediction markets are not exactly the same, but it's obviously a close cousin.
Yeah.
There is absolutely more involvement in this space because you have more states that have legalized gambling. The Kalshis of the world, they're just more engaged. And I think people, especially the millennials, and the Gen Zs that are really passionate about soccer, they are competitive. And so these kinds of markets and that kind of action really is going to take a higher position when you have a sport like soccer that they're so into.
Yeah, I just have to ask one more question, and that is the pricing we've seen and what it's meant for filling stadiums, filling hotels near some of these stadiums, et cetera. Has it been surprising to you? How to game out the economics around that?
Well, I will tell you just one thing real briefly. If the U.S. had won, the quarterfinals would have been here in L.A., and before the match, they were $2,800 was the cheapest to get in. Those prices dropped like a stone. The minute Belgium won, those prices are now down to $1,300. Yeah, the prices were high. We saw a lot of full stadiums, though, so I was a little bit surprised that these prices, as crazy as it sounds, didn't necessarily price out everybody, but clearly one of the delicate things, and every pro sports team in North America wrestles with this, is you don't want to price out the average Joe or Jane fan. And unfortunately, I think that this tournament really did that.